I did read they're not even supposed to be looking at them till like the 3rd, right?
Well, that's the other funding, that is the Paycheck Protection Program, is kicking off on the 3rd for small businesses and sole proprietors. That's kicking off on the 3rd, and then the 10th, the independent contractors and self-employed can apply. But they're supposed to be sorting through that stuff now. And from what they originally stated for that grant part, the EIDL grant, was that we're issuing those grants within they were trying to issue the emergency grants within 3 days of a successful application. But I don't know. That's what they're saying that they're trying to do. And then the EIDL loan is like an 18 to 21 day review process. But we will get to that too.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So this meeting is not going to be long. I know I always tell you guys that, but it really isn't this time. It's really not this time. I'm going to briefly go over, because I'm going to do probably Friday another meeting where I'm going to go in detail over each program that they're doing as of, I guess, up to Friday, and what it pretty much means for us. So I'm going to do another meeting on Friday, and I actually may do a YouTube live with it and not do a Zoom meeting, but we will see. Going more in depth. So I'm just going to briefly brush over them today, and then we'll walk through the process. I know I promised you guys a 20-minute shebang. So, so yes. Well, I don't have to do introductions or anything, because everybody here is either in masterclass or consulting or something. So you guys know me.
Yep, we do.
Yes. So let's get right to it. Well, does anyone have any type of other question before I start? Or you probably won't know until after I start, actually. But does anyone have a question off the top of their head before I get started? No? Cool beans. All righty. Okay, so the SBA, everybody has pretty much, I'm sure by now, heard about the CARES Act. And I have the date on this because I'm going to post this video as well, probably to YouTube, so you can rewatch it if you need to. So that you know as of the date, because they're changing things daily. But yes, so the CARES Act has pretty much embodied a bunch of different programs for small businesses to kind of help people sustain, do payroll, stuff like that. Now, I know in the context of being an IBO, which is why I'm going to do another meeting Friday, because, you guys from Masterclass were IBOs, but I know some of you also have other types of companies. But a lot of IBOs are wondering if you will qualify for any of these programs. In short, well, I'm not a loan reviewer, so I can't tell you definitively yes, but you should, as an IBO, qualify, or at least be able to qualify to apply for the programs.
Okay.
Don't think just because we're IBOs and we only have contractors that you just automatically don't qualify, because that's not the case at all.
And that's what I thought. That's why I didn't even mess with it.
Yeah, no, that's not the case. It's because some of these they're all made to cover payroll, pretty much they're looking at, but they're also made for covering business expenses like the mortgage, rent, utilities, and expenses that you have that you would have been able to pay otherwise had this not happened. So it's not just for, hey, you have to have 20 employees, W-2 payroll to get these. So the 3 different ones that we're going to briefly discuss are the Paycheck Protection Program loan, the PPPs, which you'll probably see it coming across as, the EIDL, and that's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and then that emergency grant, that EIDL, that's up to $10,000. That's the one everybody's talking about is forgivable. So we will start with the Paycheck Protection Program. With this PPP, and I have right here that you file the application through banks and credit unions. You can also file through any SBA approved lenders. And there are some other options. And what I'm going to do with you guys is I'm going to send out an email after this with all of these links. And any documents that I have. So
Okay.
I
Thank
have, no problem. I have this, I found today, the borrower information fact sheet for the PPP program. It's very in-depth on where to apply, what it's for, what you can use it for, and like the stipulations. So I'm going to email this out to you guys to read over it. And then, like I said, I'll have a thing Friday going over it in depth. All loan terms will be the same for everyone. And with these loans, with all of the programs across so far that they've announced, they're not, you don't have to have collateral, nor do you have to PG loans. But what I will tell you, and what you will see walking through the loan application process, is the boxes that you're checking, you are checking for them to run your credit, pull your taxes, and you give them your bank information, which means they can pull what's going on in your accounts, pretty much. So they do have access to that information, and I'm pretty sure that's going to sway some of the decisions, even though they're not requiring collateral or a PG. If you have good credit at this time, like, it's your time to shine and apply.
Wow. Okay.
But if you don't have good credit, don't let it, keep you from applying. Don't let anything keep you from applying, because, I mean, at this point, you don't have the money anyway, and the worst they can do is say no. So just apply. You may get it, you may not. But yeah, I'm going to send you this sheet. This is the application. So the Paycheck Protection Program is the one that is kicking off April 3rd, which I think is what, Friday? And you'll be able to apply. I know a lot of the banks been sending out emails. Like Chase sent out an email with information on it, and just saying that April 3rd you'll be able to apply online. Most of the banks are closed, so you'll be able to get the application online.
Bank of America sent one also.
Bank of America, yes, good. So yeah, a lot of the major banks I'm sure have sent, except I don't know if Wells Fargo did. I don't remember seeing one from them, but I know Navy Federal did too. So just look at the emails, and it kind of gives you more information on that as well. I said the Paycheck Protection Program was designed to help you. Well, for one, they took a lot of the requirements that the regular SBA existing loan programs had, because those were pretty hard to get into. So they took a lot of those requirements out. And this one is really designed for employees to keep their, employers to keep their employees on payroll. But again, it can be used for mortgage, rent, not long-term debts, but debts. Hold on, here's somebody. Okay, sorry, I just muted somebody. With this Paycheck Protection Program, Friday, small businesses and sole proprietors can apply. And then, like I said, April 10th, it will open up for like independent contractors and self-employed. This program, don't get this mixed up with that grant. All the loans will not be forgiven under this program. Everybody's kind of running around like all this is like it's raining free money and it'll all be forgiven. It is totally not true. Like, please don't feel that way. And not only are all the loans not going to be forgiven under this program, but if you do get approved for that $10,000 EIDL grant, it will reduce the amount that they're willing to forgive on this PPP program. So if you get, say, $100,000 loan from this PPP and you take that grant and they're like, all right, we'll forgive 70,000 or 80,000 of it, they're going to be like, oh, but you got this $10,000 grant, so now we're going to forgive 70,000. Not only that, but for this stuff to be forgiven, y'all, you're going to have to like go through a review process. It's going to require proof of where the money was spent, the bills that were paid, that sort of a deal. Income statement, stuff like it's going to require you actually have proof of stuff. So don't think that you're just going to get a deposit and it's like, ooh, shopping spree, or let me expand my, new hair salon with this money. It's not that type of a situation. It has to be used for what they're stating it needs to be used for. I just showed, well, no, I don't think I said anything. Here's the application form. Like I said, it should be online for everybody. I'm going to email you this too. As you see, it says sample on it. So if you want to just read it and see if there's anything that you don't understand, and if you come to the meeting Friday, if you have any questions on it, I can help you Friday. I'm going to try to see if I can get one other person in the meeting with me that I know is pretty well versed with this that can help too. So just kind of go over it and see if you have any questions on it. But that's supposed to be the application process for it. And since you know it's opening April 3rd, what is today, Wednesday? Go ahead and just kind of prepare the things that they're asking for. Make sure you know it so that you can get your stuff on there first. All right, let's keep it moving. Oh yeah, right here, and I'm gonna put it in the chat box. So you guys know I love some nav.com because they really simplify things for you when they explain it and put it in layman terms. But nav.com has a calculator that helps you to know how much you should ask for in relation to like what your payroll expenses and all that stuff is. So you just kind of put in a couple numbers and it'll be like, all right, the most amount that you probably get approved for is, you know, 20,000. So that you're just not like randomly pulling numbers out the air without knowing why. So here is that calculator, and I'm going to send a wrap-up email to everybody, like I said, and I'm going to have these attachments and these links, but I'll also put them in chat, just in case you don't get the wrap-up email. All right, so that's the calculator, and then, here is the fact sheet for the PPP program. Also, with this program, you can defer your payments for 6 months. I think they're actually doing 6 to 18 months on that one. Let me see. 6 months to a year, you can defer your payment. And then the loan may be forgiven if your business maintains its payroll for 8 weeks at employees' normal salaries. So if you have companies outside of Arise that you have employees on, that's a chance for your stuff to get forgiven if you keep them on salary, on the salary they had. Are any of you guys employees in your own company? Outside of Arise or even in Arise?
No, I'm not.
No, okay. I was gonna say, because especially if you're an employee in your own company, I mean, it's still an employee. All right, so moving forward, the EIDL tongue twister grant program. Okay, so this is that advance up to $10,000. This is what we're going to walk through tonight. It was a very extensive process before this past weekend, and then they came back, simplified it, and now it's just 2 pages. If you applied before this Monday, you have to reapply for that cash advance. It will not reset your place in line for the loan process, but if you didn't include a statement requesting the cash advance before and you applied before Monday, then reapply and check the box for the cash advance. Like I said, they said it will be given within 3 days of a successful application. That's what they're saying. I'm pretty sure they're overwhelmed at this point. So I don't know how long those 3 days will really be in effect. They also, the guidelines that the SBA usually has about the time and business that you have been relaxed. So your business just needs to be, it needed to have been operational as of January 31st, 2020, when the president started like declaring disasters and stuff like that. You can get this even if you are denied for the EIDL loan. And the grant program and the EIDL loan are different programs. You can apply for the grant program, the EIDL loan, and the PPP. You can apply for all of it and get it all if approved. The working capital for the EIDL, it can only be used to pay like fixed debts, payroll, accounts payable, and then again, like other bills that could have been paid had the disaster not occurred. Business bills, y'all, not personal. And I just keep stressing that because I've been sitting in meetings all week, just speaking at different online meetings, and you would just be surprised at the things that people were like planning to do if they were approved for this money. It's not like a, income tax check or anything like that. You don't want to mess with, IRS funding. Like, you don't want to mess with this type of stuff in the wrong way. This grant program, like I said, here is the link, and I'm going to post it in the chat so that you have it when we go over it in just a few minutes. Wrong way. Here we go. Oh, Sonia, you're an employee under your company, and were you an employee when you filed taxes? Sorry, I just saw the chat. Because if so, good. Make sure you include those numbers because you're an employee, so that would help, cover the cost to pay you too.
Wear like the same clothes. Stop messing up. That way you won't mess up all your clothes when you're ready to work.
You do other than just Arise? Yeah, me too. I've applied for this stuff on 4 companies. So.
But see, okay, I'm a W-2 employee, but not under my company though, because like I work for Intuit as a W-2 employee, so that would be considered part of, like, that wouldn't be considered my business, so I can't use that, right?
No, that would be Intuit could use it, but not you.
Right.
So yeah, that would be, you would have to be under your business with it.
Right. So what you guys are talking about is like you actually work W-2 jobs under your business, your actual businesses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the grant program. Like I said, that's the $10,000. So this does not have to be paid back. Which is that's why it's called grant program, and that's why everybody's kind of running for the hills to get it, because this one does not, and you don't have to jump through all the hoops to prove for it not to be paid back like you will for the other ones. All right. And then the EIDL loan program, which, like I said, is separate from the grant. It's both EIDL, but it's, and you're applying for both at the same time. But again, it's 2 different things. That you can get up to, let me see, what was it? Well, you can get up to $2 million of working capital loans. I don't know if anyone would need that right with our businesses, but you can get it. And then the loans, the interest rates on these loans are lower. So like for the EIDL, the loans, they carry an interest rate of 3.75% or 2.75%, which is a lot lower because you see interest rates at 6% and sometimes more. The loan repayment terms will vary by each person that applies, but they are giving you a loan amount time of up to 30 years on some applicants, which is like a house note. So you should have plenty of time to pay off what can't be forgiven. This program, the way it is under the stimulus package, it's also fixed so that sole proprietors and businesses with fewer than 500 employees can qualify. I don't know if you guys know, but prior to this, those stipulations were a lot harder to get for small businesses. And again, you don't have to be a PG for loans under $200,000 with the EIDL loan. Now, over $200,000, you will probably have to PG it. This one with the EIDL, the payments can be deferred for up to 4 years. So you can get the loan now and defer the payments. Now, how the interest rates and stuff like that will work, I'm not 100% sure about. That's why I'm going to do the meeting Friday, so I can spend tomorrow just researching all of the updated terms on this stuff. Nav, again, I said these links will be in your email, has a really good breakdown, and I'll put it in the chat too, on Nav, of this EIDL program. I went through a ton of sites because I was trying to find sites that would like simplify what they're trying to say for us regular folks. And so this one is for the EIDL, if you want more information. And when you see PPL, that's the Paycheck Protection Loan Program. Some sites are calling it PPP, some are calling it PPL. Now, when you're applying for this stuff, do expect to, number one, need your tax returns, your profit and loss statements as it's stating here, balance sheets. You need to make sure you have your financial information in front of you because you're going to need it. With the one that we're doing today, you don't need a ton of the information off of there. But if you filed taxes in 2019, most of your information will be there. So just pull your taxes, the printout of what you filed, and you can get the information off of there. No problem. Have a good shift, Jasmine. Thank you. All right, y'all. We're going to jump into this application. Yeah. I didn't make our 20-minute promise, but oh no, I'm not gonna make our 30-minute one either. All right, under 40 minutes. Let's get it. All right, does everybody have the application up that's following along to do it as we do it together? Wait, before this, because after the application, then I know a lot of you will be ready to go. Stop promising. I do need to stop. Are there any questions on, I know that was like really quick of a rundown, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys the difference between the three so that you didn't think it was all one. No? Okay, cool. All right, so this is the loan for the EIDL. So this is for the actual loan as well as the grant. So first, we'll start up here, your eligible entity verification. This will depend on the type of entity you set up. On whether, and your two options will be either this, if you're doing like as an Arise IBO. If you're doing one of your other companies, then you'll have to pick from which one applies. But as a Arise IBO, you'll either be here or here, or as an Arise contractor. If you've S-Corp or anything like that, you will be this first one. All right, review and check all of these, not engaged in illegal activity. You're not delinquent on child support, hopefully. If you are, they're not giving you any money. None of these loans, no grants. I don't even think you're getting the $1,200 stimulus if your child support's not paid. So hopefully no one is behind on that. So read these. You're not business of lobbying. You're not doing legal gamble activities with your company. And then the rest of this. You're not a government entity. All right. So here you're gonna put your business legal name. And I'm just gonna put one of my companies up here just to go through the process. Trade name, if it's different than your business legal name, put that. If it's the same, then put that. Here, Unless you filed under, if you did a sole proprietorship with your business and that's how you're doing it, well, you shouldn't be an IBO with a sole proprietorship. But just in case you have another company that you did, then put your social security number. If not, then put your EIN. You should have that from whenever you filed it with the IRS.gov site. You could save that copy. If you're an IBO with the RISE, it will be under your profile in the portal, top right-hand side, under IB information. So I'm just gonna make one up. All right. Organization type, choose your type. For those of you that did not S or C Corp, then you could just do LLC. If you're S or C Corp, choose one of these. Or if you're a partnership, but choose the one that applies. Not, if you're nonprofit, then hit yes, but if not, hit no. You should know if you're a franchise or not. It's not something you just kind of fall into and not know. So this is where you are going to need your tax return. Okay. You'll need to put your gross revenue for the 12 months prior to the date of the disaster. That, again, depending on what you filed, if you filed a Schedule C, it'll be, I think, in Part 1. But that will be on your tax return. Now, remember the difference between the gross and the net. The gross revenue is your earnings before you've deducted any expenses or anything like that. So it's simply your revenue before any type of deductions or payments or anything went out. What is your revenue? The total amount of sales recognized prior to anything taken out. So if you're an IBO, it would be from the 12 months prior to January 31st. What did Arise actually deposit into your account prior to paying agents or anything else? If you're in any other field, again, it's just the money that you made prior to anything coming out. Cost of goods sold, we're just gonna make up a number. Cost of goods sold, if you have goods that you sell, that will be on your tax return as well. So we don't sell goods, so zero that out. All right, this stuff right here, as an IBO, you don't need to worry about it. But if you have other businesses, you definitely need to read it. Any lost rent due to the disaster, if you have rental properties, residential and commercial properties, nonprofits. This is for faith-based entities if you run a church or anything like that. So any secular social services provided by that. And then here you would list your services. If you receive compensation from any other sources as a result of this, so now that would apply to you if you've been approved for any other loans that are related to this. So say you're filling this out after you've been approved for, say, a bank loan or something that was related to this. You would put the amount that you received here. And then you would put what the compensation was. All right, your business address. If you have a business address and it's home address, your home address, then that's your business address. City you're in, and that's pretty self-explanatory. I know you guys, city, state. Business phone number, you want to make sure all this information is accurate just in case they reach out to you. Alternate number, I'd throw a cell phone up there. Business fax, if you have a fax number attached to your business phone number, put it there. Email, your time to shine, because going through Masterclass, I know that you guys don't have these @Gmails from your businesses, so put that pretty business email up. Date your business was established. You should have that on file. If you don't, then your Secretary of State has an online portal. Log into it and you can see it there. Just gonna put a date here. If you've owned your business since it was established, put it here. If you became a part of the business after the actual business was established, maybe you came in as a partner or something like that, then you'll need to put that date there. But for most of you guys, I know these dates should match. And if you have a copy of like your entity paper, your LLC that you filed, incorporation, you know, when you got it, congratulations, you're officially an LLC or whatever, your date will be there. And if not, like I said, hop in that Secretary of State portal. All right, business activity. If you are an Arise IBO, I've seen a couple people do it a couple ways. I've seen some hit business services and hit none of the below, which is what I did. Or I've seen some hit miscellaneous. If this is for another company and you're not an Arise IBO, then pick whichever one this applies to with your company, and then you'll have your subcategory to choose from. All right, the number of employees that you have in your company as of January 31st, 2020. So you would not get this information off of your tax stuff. You need to know how much you had as of the 31st of January. All right, is your business owned by a business entity? Is your business owned by another business? Probably not. Like, do you have a holding company that owns this business is pretty much what it's asking. If no, select no. Now it's your time to put all of your information in here. Oops. Put your title in here, you the owner or you a CEO, whatever your title is. Ownership percent. I want to say I read that you need to own at least more than, well, actually, you know what? Disregard what I just said because you're going to put all the owners on here. So if you own 100, put 100. If you don't, put the percentage, and then you will have to add the additional owner there. Email. Put your social security number in here. My one's not working. There we go. Place of birth. And I'm just putting in stuff, y'all, just so you kind of see. All right, now you're gonna put your home address. Oh man, I hope you guys haven't been putting anything in check, 'cause I haven't even stopped to check it. Sorry. Anybody have any questions so far? Everyone's still here? We're still kicking? Oh, this is like 3 pages, not 2. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of long. I noticed that last night.
Wait. Okay, we're at the end of it, y'all. All right. Again, this additional information is kind of like in the first page with the additional information. Definitely read it. If you've been convicted of a criminal offense with the rest of this, then answer accordingly. Hope nobody's been really committing too many crimes these past 6 months. Is that what it is, right? 6 months? Yeah. If anyone assisted you in completing this application, the person must enter their information below. Do not enter my information in there. I'm giving you a walkthrough of what I'm doing. So, because I'm not actually assisting you, like looking at your screen to see what you're putting in, I'm most definitely not taking responsibility for that. It'd be different if you were at my house and we were like filling it out together, but we're not. So no one is assisting you. You guys are really doing this on your own, just with a little YouTube type of tutorial. All right, most important box. I would like to be considered for the advance. Make sure it is checked. If you do not check it, you will not be considered for the advance. Now, this is where you are sending, all right, we're not at submit yet. Putting your bank in. So the bank that you put in here will be the bank that the funds will be deposited into. Keep that in mind. Done this tutorial a couple times, yeah. There's all this bank. All right. You'll want to make this probably your business bank account, I would say. And hopefully an account that you haven't been like crazily overdrafting in. I only say that, and this is not, I don't work for the SBA or anything like that, but if you read this first line right here, that you're authorizing the insurance company, bank, financial institution, or other creditors to release to the SBA all the records and information necessary to process this application, and that the SBA can obtain credit information on the individuals completing this application. So remember, like 20 minutes ago, I told you guys there was no PG on some of this stuff, no collateral and all of that good stuff. Credit was not supposed to make a difference. If none of that really didn't make a difference, this wouldn't be on here. I'm just going to put it that way. So you're giving them permission to obtain what they need to obtain, and you're giving them bank account numbers. You're giving them a social security number. They can get all of this stuff that they need to get from your accounts to your credit to whatever with the information you've given them, and you've given them permission to do it. So just use accounts and stuff that are like in good standing. You know, if they pulled it, it would look okay. Let's see. If you're just starting being an IBO this year, did you start before January 31st? Because that was you just had to be in business before your company had to be going. No? Okay, so for this one, you may not. But just submit the application anyway. You never know. You're notified by the business address on the app or the owner's personal email. Wait. Enter for the owner. From what I was told, it's supposed to be the business email. But what I did was like I entered my business email, like my PPasos at moving-meals.com under the business and the personal. So I just put the same email for both, but I did ask that question and it's supposed to be the business. Now, again, don't forget that I'm not going to hit next, y'all, because I think it's going to submit after that. It's going to do like a review and then I hit submit. Yeah. So this is the extent of what you have to fill out, because if I hit next, it's going to take me to summary and submit. And I did just give like a bunch of false information, which I checked off that I didn't. So I'm not going to hit next. You guys hit next and let me know if you have any questions of next after that. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best way, Sonia. Now, another question I've been getting a lot too is if you have multiple companies, can you apply? Yes, it's one application per TIN or number or EIN. And TIN is a number as well. You guys are probably like, oh, it's EIN. No, TIN is one too. One application per number. So each business that you have should have a separate number. So you should be able to apply for each business that's been affected. Like I said, I'm not going to pitch this to you guys as it's just free fall money, because when you dig into it, and like I said, Friday, I'll go more into depth. It's not. It's definitely not. But you, to help keep your business afloat, to help keep paying who you need to pay the bills that you need to pay, that's apply for it for that. And on the bills that you can't get paid on the business side and the personal side, call. So a lot of people are assuming that everybody's just giving leeway for the coronavirus, and they're not saying you don't have to say anything. They're just going to automatically help your account out. Well, they're not shutting off stuff like utilities. You may not be getting evicted tomorrow type of deal, but like these credit car loans and those types of companies, you have to call in for that. You have to call in and let them know. When you call in, tell them that hey, I've been laid off because of the coronavirus and I don't know when I'm going back to work, so I can't pay this. Or, hey, I've been fired because of this. I don't have income coming in because specifically state because of the coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. But you have to call in to get these, deferments and stuff like that. When was your nonprofit? Was it before January 31st? $2018, you can file under that one. Even if you haven't necessarily paid a bunch of people, if you have bills and expenses, utilities and stuff like that you're paying for monthly to keep up the business, to run it, you have contractors that you pay to do work, things that you have to pay for to keep the business running, apply. I know a lot of people are like, I haven't paid anyone, or I don't have employees. They want it to be specifically to help that, payroll. They really want to help that part of it to keep people working and getting paid, but it's for other things too. You started paying this year? Before the January 31st? I know I keep asking you that, I'm sorry. And that PPP program, I think that one, it gives you like a February date, not January. Yeah, before that, then yeah, apply. You should be able to apply for it. All right. Any other questions, you guys, on this? Did anybody hit next and need help after that next part? And then I know you guys are not going to do it, but just because they're given discretion with paying stuff, like nobody has said what happens when this period is over. So if you do have the money, keep paying your stuff, because no one has said that, you know, hey, they're like, we're not going to evict you. Your mortgage, you know, we're not going to hound you to collect it. But nobody has said, hey, this is not going to be on your credit. No one has said, hey, we're not going to hit you with having to pay this lump sum when this is over. Like, no one knows what's going to happen. So if you have the money to pay your bills, just go ahead and keep paying them as normal. And like I said, and if you have good credit, oh yeah, the other link I'm going to send to you guys is I have a link, one of these links, it'll be in your email, but it goes state by state to the programs that are available within each state too. So this is just the SBA. This is on a federal level, but the states all have different programs as well for businesses. Well, I won't say all, I'm not sure if all of them do, but a lot of them do. I know like the New York and a bunch of other ones were on there. So apply for that stuff too. And like I said, don't be scared to apply for stuff. If you don't know, you know, as long as you have your accurate information, your numbers and your financial stuff and the stuff you're putting on the application is accurate, the worst they can do is be like, you know, denied. It's not a big deal. All right, y'all. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll see you guys Friday. I'm not sure what time yet, but I will send, I'll put it in the email and I'll put it in the Facebook group. And yeah, so that we can go over the specifics for each, well, I guess the federal loans, because I won't have time to do each state, but did everybody get their stuff submitted? I just want to make sure everybody hit that submit button. Oh, no problem. You submitted Monday? Good. Okay. You will? All right.
Thank you, Paris.
No problem. All right, you guys. No problem. I hope everybody else hit submit. You got to hit submit. Thank you. Good night.